Jackson then. Jimmy Jackson joining us here on the Folsom Lake Honda Hotline. Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop. Jimmy, thanks for joining us. Cattles and Ramie here at Sactown Sports. Let me ask you first your thoughts on De'Aaron Fox's performance in his first playoff game in the NBA.
First of all, thank you guys for having me. And it was an awesome game. As far as D5, I think he's been growing to this situation over the years of understanding how to play at a high level and how to impact the game, not just from scoring. I think a lot of the adversity that he and the team has been through has prepared him for the moment that he faced against the Warriors, in game one. And I thought he handled it from a maturity perspective the way a veteran point guard is. He set his teammates up. He analyzed situations on when he needed to score, when he needed to pass. And when it came down to making game-winning plays, he was able to do that either from the free throw line, being able to counter Golden State's run, or setting up his teammates for success. So I just love the maturity that he showed.
All season long, he was the most clutch player in the NBA, and he's probably taken home the inaugural Jerry West Clutch Player of the Year award. But I said to my broadcast partner here to open the show, I was pretty sure that would translate to the playoffs, but you don't know until you know. Jimmy, did you have any doubt or question whether that clutch player we saw all season long would show up for the playoffs?
No question. And clutch can be defined in a number of different ways. Because when we think about clutch, we always think about scoring the basketball.
Mm-hmm.
If you look at, and this is another example of what in the LA Clippers Phoenix game, Russ didn't shoot the ball well, but in those clutch moments, he came up with defensive plays that ensured that the Clippers would win the game. With De'Aaron, he's able to score and still impact the game by the way he pushes the ball. He pushes pace. He allows his team to get in situations to be able to get some easier baskets. And then when he's able to get a shot, especially in that mid-range, he's able to knock it down. And we saw what he did when under pressure at the free throw line. But not surprised.
Jimmy Jackson with us here on Cattles and Ramie, Sactown Sports, calling the game for TNT. Jimmy, I found it interesting the way that the Warriors defended Domas on Saturday night. They had Kevon Looney sag off of him, and then with the DHOs, they had an off-ball defender kind of blitzing that guy who was set to get the handoff from Domas. Domas, as we know, struggled 5 of 17 from the field. If you're the Kings, how do you combat that tonight?
Movement. Maybe you drop that DHO a little bit lower. Now you can hit like a short roll on that for Domas. Now he's closer to the basket. He doesn't have to kind of negotiate the lane as much now as 1 or 2 dribbles. He's into a shot. But this is the beauty about the playoffs, and you guys can understand this by watching. It's the adjustments that you make from game to game. The defensive coverages may be the same by Golden State in game 2. So we'll see if the adjustments are now made with those dribble handoffs you talked about to bring it a little bit lower. Maybe do it in the middle of the court, free throw line extended to get Domas a little bit closer to the rim. But Domas has to understand that he plays with so much power and force that sometimes he has to finesse his way in order to get the shots and be as effective. I think he was absorbing so much contact and looking for contact that a lot of the concentration on the shots were left short, and hence he wasn't making the field goals inside that we're accustomed to him seeing.
How important was it for the Kings specifically, being the inexperienced team, the underdog somehow, even though they're the 3 seed, to take game 1 in this series?
Very important from a mental perspective, because this is Golden State, the reigning champions. You have Steph, Clay, Draymond, Devon, a bunch of playoff experience. And the beauty about the game is that the moment didn't overwhelm a team with very little playoff experience outside of Harrison Barnes, Domantas a little bit, and a couple other players. So the poise to me was very important. In particular, being down at halftime, being able to make the run in the third quarter. They won that quarter by 7 points, and then they won the fourth quarter. Being down 10 points, they could have easily collapsed, but they did not. They kind of went back to the basis of who they are, and that showed a great level of maturity.
Double J, man. Jay here, brother. I just want to make sure, because you one of my guys, man, my guys, one of my favorite Sacramento guys, and I just want to make sure that everybody gets this, man, because you were here for many opportunities, many times of the downtime. But, man, just speak to walking through Sacramento, walking downtown, and what this means to you as a former Sacramento King, man, from somebody that's from Sacramento who looked up to what you did. I just want to make sure that you get that out there too, man.
When I came into the league, Sacramento was a tough ask in regards to winning. Because back in the day with Arco Arena, Natomas wasn't built out. It was just kind of out there on the island by its own. It was dark at night, not winning a lot of games. But you knew the spirit of the fan base was behind the Kings. They just needed a product they could be proud of. And once that happened and the tables turned, you know, with the era with Vlade and Dag and Christie, C-Webb and Asia, that whole thing, that allowed the fans to really be a participant in that success. And watching it from afar, it was like amazing. But then to be able to participate myself in it and feel the passion from the fans, it was amazing. And actually, Jay, I think I told you this before, playing in Sacramento just that 1 year brought the love of the game back to me. The spirit of the game, the passion of the game, because of not only the great teammates and coaching staff that I was a part of, but because of the acceptance of the fan base and being a part of something special, bro. So I'm loving everything about what's going on, and I'm so happy for Mike Brown as well.
Jimmy, thanks for your time. I know you're busy today calling the game tonight. We appreciate you, and hopefully this game is as good as the one was on Saturday night that you get to call it tonight.
But I hope it's even better.
There goes Jimmy Jackson joining us. Of course, got the call on TNT, former King. Great things to say about Sacramento and this fan base. All guests come to you from the Folsom Lake Honda Hotline. Folsom Lake Honda is your one-stop Honda shop. E40 gets tossed and more coming up.
Cattles Ramie.